Hi everybody, my name is Mr. Like, and welcome to Like Science. Today we got lots of cool stuff to do. But first, I thought I'd have a snack. Let's see what we got in here. How do you guys choose what you like to eat? Do you choose based on taste? Do you choose based on what's available? Or maybe who cooks it for you? Do you choose what to eat based on what's healthy for you? Talk about this a little bit with your parents, and we'll get started. Alright, well, I found some foods in my pantry. I want you to look at all the stuff that I got here. Everything that I have here has added sugar. Why do you think they add sugar to food? Well, they do it in order to make it taste sweet. Soda, lemonade, cookies, candy, Pop-Tarts, even frosted cereals. I have Rice Krispie treats. All these things are very sweet tasting. That's because they have added sugar. Let's play a little game. Let's pick two of these things and see who has the most sugar in it per serving. So, what do we think here? What are two things we want to go head to head to see who has the most sugar? Let's start with Chips Ahoy versus Pop-Tarts. What do you guys think? Chips Ahoy or Pop-Tarts? Who has the most sugar? Think about it for just a second. Okay, here we go. Let's see what is the worst snack that I can think of in my cupboard. I've got my first head-to-head battle here going between Chips Ahoy and a Pop-Tart. Now I have to be very careful with what I'm comparing. I want to compare one serving of Chips Ahoy versus one serving of Pop-Tarts. One serving of Chips Ahoy is actually 3 cookies. So 3 cookies of Chips Ahoy versus 1 Pop-Tart. If you've ever eaten Pop-Tarts, you'll know that they come in a pack of 2. So if you actually eat both Pop-Tarts in the pack, you're getting twice as much sugar as what we're talking about in our little showdown here. So which one do you think is worse? 3 cookies, Chips Ahoy, or a Pop-Tart? Well, the amount of sugar, we often talk about sugar in teaspoons. This is a teaspoon of sugar. That's about 4 grams. I don't have a whole bunch of teaspoons, so I actually found myself some sugar cubes. And each sugar cube is actually about 2 grams. So I can figure out how many sugar cubes I need for each of these. Let's start with Chips Ahoy. If you look on the back of a Chips Ahoy, you're going to see that it has information. And one of the pieces of information is how much sugar they have. So Chips Ahoy actually has 11 grams of sugar per serving. A serving is 3 cookies, which means I'm going to need 5, that would be 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and I broke one in half. And a half, that's 11 grams of sugar in 3 cookies here. That's almost the same size as 3 cookies, right? That's a lot of sugar. What about the Pop-Tart? Do you think the Pop-Tart has more? The Pop-Tart actually has 18 grams of sugar. So I need 9 sugar cubes. 9 whole sugar cubes inside this Pop-Tart. That's a lot of sugar. The Pop-Tart wins. Pop-Tarts have a lot of sugar in them, which makes the Chips Ahoy a better choice, but still, that's a lot of sugar going into your body. What other food do you think in my list here has more or less sugar in it? What should we try next? What should we put up against the Pop-Tart? The Pop-Tart's got 18 grams. Which one of these other things here should we look at? Well, let's look at these Rice Krispie treats. A serving of a Rice Krispie treat is just one package that looks like this. They're pretty small, so we would think that maybe they don't have a lot of sugar in them. If you look on the back of this box here, you will see that the nutrition label says that Rice Krispie treats have 8 grams of sugar. So let's get our sugar cubes out. This would be 2, 4, 6, 8 grams of sugar. That's not too much. Actually, the Rice Krispie treat is a much better treat than the Pop-Tart. It still has a lot of added sugar. That's a lot of sugar to put in one of these little Rice Krispie treats, but it is better than the Pop-Tart. So, Rice Krispie treats, not as much as the Pop-Tart. What's the next one that you think we might want to try? What about this Fruit Loops? A bowl of Fruit Loops. Now, a bowl of Fruit Loops is about 1 cup, like about a handful of Fruit Loops is what we're talking about here. A handful of Fruit Loops, it says, has 16 total grams of sugar. If it's 16 grams of sugar, I'm going to need 8 cubes to represent that. There's 5, 6, 7, 8. So in a bowl of Fruit Loops, we're going to have this much sugar. It's not quite as much as the Pop-Tart, but it is a lot of sugar. They put a lot of sugar in cereal to make it sweet. Still not as big as the Pop-Tart though. What about something that we know is not very healthy? What about Skittles? I looked on the back of my pack of Skittles, and it says that 1 serving of Skittles is about 27 Skittles, which is about a small package of Skittles, like if you've ever bought the little bite-sized package of Skittles. So this is 27 Skittles right here. How many grams of sugar do you think are in 27 Skittles? Do you think it's more than the Pop-Tart? Well, as it turns out, Skittles have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 21 grams of sugar. That beats the Pop-Tart. Skittles, 27 Skittles is almost all sugar. I'm looking at the amount of mass that I have there in sugar and the amount of mass I have in Skittles, and it's almost the same thing. Skittles are almost straight sugar. So they beat the Pop-Tart. What about something else? What do I have left? Oh, what about my lemonade? Lemonade, this lemonade here has, and then we're talking about a cup of lemonade, just a regular cup of lemonade. It's going to have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, we're counting by 2s, 22, 24, 26 grams of sugar. That's more than the Skittles. Drinking 1 cup of this lemonade actually has more sugar in it than eating all of these Skittles. Which means lemonade is probably not even as good for you as the Skittles. Let's move the Skittles out of here. All right, what do I have left? I've got 1 can of Mountain Dew. Mountain Dew is, this is not diet, this is regular Mountain Dew. I'm sure some of you have probably had this before. How many grams do you think is in this Mountain Dew? Do you think it's more than 26? 26? That's like a whole handful of sugar if I'm just drinking a cup of this. So the same amount of this and the same amount of this, 8 ounces, is what's the, actually is this 12 ounces? Yeah, this is 12 ounces for a serving. And this is only 8 ounces, so this is actually less here than here. But let's count up the amount of sugar that's in Mountain Dew. It says it right here in the back of the can. 2, 4, 6, 8, we're making our pattern, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, that's the same. It has more. 28, 30, 32, 34, 36, 38, 40, 42, 44, 46. 46 grams of sugar in Mountain Dew. That's a lot of sugar. It kills the lemonade. This Mountain Dew is almost all sugar. Look at that. We know that they're very sweet and they do taste good, but that's a lot of added sugar to put into your body. Let's talk a little bit more about this and see what kind of foods we could have that maybe we could use instead of the Mountain Dew or instead of the lemonade. Okay, well that was kind of depressing. We have lots of sugar in lots of the foods that are really good to eat. Does that mean we should never eat them? Well, we know that adding sugar to foods and eating a lot of sugar can lead to tooth decay, it can lead to weight gain, it can lead to lots of things that are not healthy for our body. But that doesn't mean that sometimes we can't eat some of those foods. We'll call those sometimes foods. But you know what? For those sometimes foods, I bet we could find some better, healthier alternatives that make a little bit more sense. Remember, we eat those foods because they taste sweet. Well, there's other things that taste sweet too. An apple is naturally sweet. It has sugar in it, but it's a sugar called fructose, not the sucrose that's in the other stuff. Fructose is also sweet. Apples, oranges, any kinds of fruit are often great substitutes for snacks instead of all those other things with added sugar. Even some vegetables are a good idea. We have a salad here that we keep in our fridge that's got cauliflower and broccoli and carrots in it. What a great snack to eat instead of those Chips Ahoy cookies or that Pop-Tart. Can you come up with other healthy alternatives that you could use as switcheroos for those snacks that were in my cupboard? I'll bet you can. Talk with your parents about some things that you might put in your cupboard that would be healthy alternatives for the things that have added sugar. We'll see you next time.